Okay. And as these things change, Josh, you've been, sort of in the regulatory compliance authorship and standards authorship for quite some time.
Yeah.
What's the process to go into a new revision? What's required to get us there? And then let's talk about where we actually got.
So typically, and NIST, as Gabby mentioned, is one of the big organizations that do this, but there's others. There's ISO, there's dozens of standards organizations out there and accreditation organizations. But they're all of their experiences are fairly similar. They go, okay, something's different, something's changed. Somebody goes, hey, look, there's containers now. Ransomware is more prevalent than ever before. We have this thing called supply chains,
Ooh.
whatever. So people raise concerns. Those concerns are raised in forums. Those concerns are raised in conferences. Those concerns are raised at various places. The organization takes note of those concerns, realizes, okay, it's been like 7 years. We should probably update things. Let's take a look at this and see, does it make sense to do like a hot fix or a full revision update? And when they go, okay, it's time for a full revision update, they have a panel, a task force, a work group that writes it out. Then it goes out for internal comment. Then it goes out for public comment. Then they rewrite it every time, revise it. Somebody goes, you didn't go far enough. You went way too far. What the hell were you thinking? Trust me,
Addressing all of your feedback. Goodness, so many things come into play with it. It is not an easy process. I definitely would say the poor people at NIST and all of these other frameworks, they have a huge job. There's no way that they can make us all happy, right? That's totally impossible. There's no way that they can think of every situation that would identify specific requirements. This is a best practice. Most people tend to forget that this NIST is listed as guidance for us to implement, right? So that you have a framework and some form or fashion of information that's going to allow you to carve out the policies at your organizationally defined parameters. And it is a huge uplift. Not only does it take us time to get through the 53 revision, but then we also have to go through the process of the 53A, right, which is going to really tell us how do we assess against each of those controls as an accompanying document, and going through that same iterative process. It is very time consuming. And then also kind of taking into consideration, what are some of those top trends that we need to start incorporating into our business process, such as supply chain, right? Focusing on privacy and that integration. Privacy has been something that's kind of been riding in the sidecar next to cybersecurity for quite some time. It has been a supporting appendix of the program, right? You are supposed to think about it for your PTAs, your privacy threshold analysis, privacy impact analysis, your SORNs, right? Your systems of records and notification process, and making sure that all of that PII is documented, publicly available, and posted as far as the type of data that is being collected for your systems and how we are protecting those specific mechanisms. Getting all of that stuff integrated into something like Rev 5 is a huge undertaking. So I do want people to recognize that while it does take a lot of time for us to get through this process and work through those kinks, respect how much work goes into it. And what does that mean for us? It means a lot of work. Josh, let's talk about some of the work and what that really means for all of our poor people that are responsible for implementing these controls, documenting, and then assessing, right? There is a huge lift that goes into that.